everyone, I am Destiny Phillips, and I'm here with
Rountree.
And we are going to be talking about literary skills, how to create poems, articles, essays in the best way. And I just want to hear a little bit of your background about how you started to make poems, because you do have a poem Instagram page, and you post poems that you create, which is very inspiring, and I love your work. So tell me a little bit about how you got into being a poet.
Oh, that's a good question. So for me, I've always loved writing. Although it was something that I struggled with earlier in life, and I tried to run from it, but sometimes you can't. And I would write quotes. In class, they would ask us to think and to write about what we would see. So I would write about what I would see, and eventually it was, what is what I'm looking at make me feel? So then I started writing about, okay, what am I feeling? And then it became about what I love. So I wrote about what I loved, wrote about my expectations, my standards, or what I thought of another person. So that's really where that kind of stemmed from, just looking at the situations and surroundings around me, and then also in visualizing within myself.
Absolutely. And just kind of jumping off of when you were talking about how you wrote about what you saw, what you loved. And that goes to one of a very big writing aspect, which is sensory elements, which is smell, taste, touch, see, what you feel, whether that's your emotions or physically. So how do you portray what you're feeling, not just in a regular way about how you just feel, but putting it in a way that sounds poetic and really just making that visual in that way?
I think a lot of people think poetry is sounding like it's a melody. Poetry doesn't have to sound like that. Poetry is literally what you make it. Like, you could literally write about the day within 4 lines, and in those 4 lines, you have a poem. So it's really about, okay, what do I see? And then what's the interaction? Is there an interaction at all? So if there's no interaction between a certain person, what can I connect that with nature? Was there a breeze flowing as that person is walking by? Or is there rain? Like, what's happening around that situation that I'm watching? And for me, it's like, okay, what kind of feeling do I get with the feelings that I already have? So let's say, like, I'm thinking about love. What goes with love? Roses. I'm thinking about flowers.
Oh, wow.
It's just the thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you think there's a wrong answer to poetry?
I wouldn't say so.
Okay.
Poetry is creative. It's really what you allow it to be.
Absolutely.
It's you speaking.
And so what is your intention when you write these poems for your audience?
So for my audience, I like to give them a variety. I definitely promote faith-based content as well. And that's more so for me because I love Jesus.
We love Jesus.
I also promote self-discovery, things to make one that can relate to look back into their own life. And, I could say all of that is something that I've once dealt with myself. And sometimes I write about love.
Wow.
I write about nature. I write about rescue. It's whatever I'm feeling in that moment, whatever I see in that moment is what I feel the need to write about, because I feel like for somebody on my page, it's important for them.
Yeah. So what would you say to someone who is an inspiring poet, someone who wants to create poetry but, might not know where to start?
I would tell them just get a laptop, get a sheet of paper.
Get a paper and a pen.
Play some music.
Okay.
Sit and think and write what you feel. Even that's 10 words. You have a poem.
Absolutely. And I appreciate how you said there's no wrong answers. It is a creative piece. But thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.